Good morning. Let me start by wishing all the mothers out there today a blessed Mother's Day. I lost my mom a few years ago and recognize on this day especially the contribution she made to the man I am today. Call, visit, hug, and celebrate your mom today. Now on to the Gospel. We Americans love our freedom, don't we? We love it so much that we're destroying our culture in the name of that freedom. Freedom in today's America is freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with the only consideration being how that freedom makes you feel. If you study history like I did in college, you realize that the founding fathers considered freedom something that came from God. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Your Creator gave you these rights, not you, not yourself. The rights did not come from man, they came from God. Today's gospel reminds us, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. In other words, any freedom we enjoy comes from our observance of the commandments. The gospel adds a key point here, which is, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to be with you always, the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot accept because it neither sees or knows him. There is a Spirit of truth that will come if we merely ask. Pretty clear that our culture is not interested in the Spirit of truth, but merely their truth, conceived by them. Just as Jesus predicted 2,000 years ago, the world will not accept the truth because it does not see God and it does not know him. Whoever has my commandments and observes them is the one who loves me. And whoever loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and reveal myself to him. God's will be done, not my will. Just as we often pray in the Our Father, observe the commandments, rely on the advocate, the Spirit of truth. So let us assume for a minute that we're faithful and follow the commandments. Some would tell us that we're leading a life that's restrictive, and the commandments are just meant to keep you in a state of bondage to a male-dominated church. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth. The Spirit of truth discussed in the gospel has fruits that define what true freedom is not, the freedom we are confronted with in today's culture. First fruit is love. This is the love that wills the good of the other, a love that is selfless, not selfish. It is a love that expresses itself in service to our fellow man and to God. The second fruit is joy. This is the joy that gives you peace and contentment, a joy that comes from upholding what you know to be true and honest, the joy that comes from doing what you know in your heart with the help of the Holy Spirit to be the right thing. The third fruit, and most importantly in this day and age, is peace. This is the peace that comes from respecting each person and their differences, the peace that comes from forgiveness and mercy, peace that comes from feeding the hungry and clothing the naked. The fourth fruit is patience. Patience is the ability to suffer annoyance, insult, and mistreatment with self-restraint and good humor. Oh, how our country could benefit this day by this fruit. The fifth fruit is kindness. Kindness is a warm and friendly disposition towards all we meet. A kind person is well-mannered, respectful, considerate, agreeable, helpful, positive, and upbeat. The sixth fruit is generosity. Generosity is sharing your time, talent, and treasure with family and friends, but also with strangers and those in need. It also manifests itself in volunteering with no thought of reward or profit. The seventh fruit is faithfulness, loyalty to friends, to your community and family, promises kept both to people and to God. being someone who is loyal, who keeps a promise, and someone who keeps his word. The eighth fruit is gentleness. Gentleness is grounded in humility, genuine concern for your fellow man. It is the ability to be considerate, mild-mannered, free of all roughness and abrasiveness. Last but not least is the fruit of self-control. Self-control is the ability to master yourself, to be able to control yourself when faced with all kinds of temptations. How many abortions would there be if our culture practiced self-control? It's the ability to remain calm, cool, and collected when faced with difficulty. Be a moderating influence in the face of conflict. The ability to avoid a knee-jerk reaction in any situation. So the question becomes, which kind of freedom looks better to you? The freedom derived from following Jesus' directions in today's gospel, that freedom that comes from following the commandments and obtaining the Spirit of truth, which then leads you to the fruits of the Holy Spirit? Or would you prefer the truth of the world, where there is no truth other than that makes you feel good? For me and my house, we're going to follow the Lord. And may the Lord give you peace.